coloring, studying the logo, and also the theme of the company, the mission and the vision of the company. Today, my project is going to be how to pass an interview, techniques. Some stupid questions that you hear from the HR, and sometimes you wonder, well, what on earth is this question for? So you need to understand what's the rationale behind it, what's the psychology behind it, and I'm going to tell you and reveal the secrets for you today. First of all, there are some generic advices that I need to pass to everyone. Before you go to interview, you have to do certain ground rules of preparation. First of all, you have to read the job description that you're applying for. And you have to come fully asleep, fully prepared. And because people naturally fear the uncertainty, that's why they come unprepared mentally and physically. So for you to prepare yourself physically, you have to get a good night's sleep, right? And for your mental preparation and to avoid any symptoms, you have to read some material and prepare yourself why these questions are going to be asked. Some of the questions in certain interviews are very stressful, very rude, and they're stressful for a reason. They want to make you angry, to see how you behave in a terrible situation. For example, they will ask you, what's the name of your mom? In my country, it's an answer. It's a professional mom. Totally unrelated to the interview, but they would like to see your reaction, your face, and how would you respond to it. And this is used heavily in military interview. For military, that's very important, because when you're captured by the enemy, they will never be nice to you, I assure you. For corporate people, for a civilian, it's different. Sometimes they use a structured material, and they have some questions that are really, sometimes they seem to be stupid. But the most common question is, tell me about yourself. In reality, HR, they are not interested about yourself, about the history, when you were born, and you can take it all the way from there. This is not the question they want. All they need is just a 3 to 4 minutes, a snapshot of all of your life and why you're important for them. That's the main purpose of it. How would you describe yourself in 3 to 4 minutes? That's the purpose. Can you give a snapshot of your life? This is what you call elevator speech. And Toastmaster, I think Toastmaster can provide you with an excellent skill to tackle this kind of question. Tell me about your life. Tell me about yourself. Why you're important to you. And sometimes we don't look at you just because we don't want to show an interest in you. Can you tackle this issue and show an interest by really promoting yourself? The second question they'll ask you, why would I hire you? Why should I hire you? And well, because you're nice looking, that's a good question. The other one is you can say, and without any fear, because I'm the best. I am the best. And you should say it with confidence and don't be afraid. They want you to say this. Why don't you say it? Because you're the best. You get jobs in the past and you were a successful candidate because you were the best. And you should believe in this. You're the best, you will get a job. That's it. Without believing this, you will lose. And avoid, again, saying something very insulting and to show your skills that you're overconfident. Because in Saudi Arabia, you have to show some humiliation, that you're afraid or something. Because overconfidence will be perceived very wrongly here in Saudi Arabia. It's not like the Western country. Sometimes when you say, well, and when I was in the States, I had to shoot, to take pictures. Fuck, what is this? And they will say this in Western country. Oh, fuck me. Sorry to use this language, but this is what they will say spontaneously. So you have to be careful not to use any vulgar language, any speeding language. You have to be careful about monitoring your rate and confidence when you answer this question and not to insult the panel. This is very important. The third one is, tell me about your long-term objective. Do you know what you want in this life? Are you serious about your life? Are you serious about approaching your life? This is the most important question for them to ask you. What is your long-term objective in this life? Do you know what you want? The answer is very simple. Say, I want to be the best employee in accountant, in IT, in HR, in finance, whatever. But you have to use this. I want to be the best within 5 years. The idea behind it is to articulate and structure your speech and tell them about the objectives and how are you going to reach this objective. If you're organized in your life, if you're serious about your life, you're definitely going to reach your goal very easily. And this is what they want. It's very simple. But answering these questions are really important. Sometimes they are open-ended, and they seem to be very stupid, but you have to be careful. The fourth one is how is your education contributed to your career? For example, you studied medicine and you went to finance. No, it doesn't make sense to me, okay? You studied engineering and you went to management. That doesn't make sense to me. So, because they will look for these differences. Well, why are you studying this and you're doing this? Why did you study management in the first place? So this is very important. We want to relate this thing. So the fundamentals of learning is very important to link it to your career path. If you know what you want, and this is, a long time to go. It will take you time to build your life. It will take you time to build a house and a family. And also it will take you time to build a career. But this is how you do it. You should be focusing on where did you come from and what do you want to be in the future. So without the past, you can't have a future. This is very important. So that's why we want to relate the education to the career. The other interesting question is, are you a team player? And everyone said, oh yes, I am a team player. Are you? The idea behind this question is very political. And the idea behind it is the diversity. Can you work with Christians? Can you work with Jews? Can you work with women? Can you work with disabled? This is the idea behind it. When you're a team player, you don't choose the people you work for. You don't choose the area. You don't choose any break from this. When you walk away, you just walk away by yourself with your knowledge on it. But you don't own a brick. You don't own anybody, and you didn't choose to work with anybody. So diversity is very important, really important. Are you going to accept differences? People who are different from you, people who conflict with your ideas, how are you going to deal with them? Because you're a team player. So either you accept and live in harmony, or you fight with them. So be careful not to say yes or no, because you have to justify. So you have to justify it with example. The other interesting question, seriously question, is what is your great weakness? Great weakness is don't say that I worked hard. Don't convert any strength to weakness, because you're conveying a very strong message, which is you don't know the difference between the strength and weakness. And with this item, gentlemen, I come to conclude my speech. Back to you, Toastmaster.